It is done.
Yeah. Thanks so much, everybody, for coming out. This is really my 20th anniversary show in a way. Unless somebody pays me something to do something before May 31st, I'll be doing it. The other thing is that my paternal grandmother, the original Virginia Dunn, died on Christmas Day. So the closing poem is about her, and the whole show, I guess, is dedicated to her. So I hope I do her right, and I hope everybody has a reasonably good time of it. And I feel so much like I'm back in a comedy club, because like I don't know at least half my audience, right? That's encouraging, you know, or not. Maybe I'll be the worst thing ever and they'll never come back. Sorry, I was just rambling on there, so you didn't miss anything important. Who knows? Maybe the whole thing won't be important. So I'll blow it all up. So yeah, you know, I used to know this creepy old professor, right? He handled people he didn't like a lot differently than I do, right? Like if I don't like somebody, I don't talk to them. If he didn't like them, he'd be like, "Hello there, friend. Come on in." Now, it might sound like the professor was a bigger guy than me, and he was. He outweighed me by like 100 pounds. But all the while he was saying, "Hello there, friend. Come on in," inside he was thinking, "I hope you get hit by a bus, you miserable prick." And it wasn't just bad thoughts too. Like he would try to fuck with people, right? Like he would act nice to their face and stuff, but like do shit to try to fuck. Like he told me one guy, he couldn't stand him, but he was super nice to him, had him to his dinner parties all the time, but he stole every woman the guy ever had. And I'm thinking to myself, could this guy have had more than one girlfriend? Because like once it happens more than once, it's like, "Oh, geez, oh, the professor stole my girlfriend again. But man, he makes a mean bowl of chili and he's so nice to me, I can't resist." Bullshit. I think the cat was onto me. You know what he did? Every time I went over there, he brought the most volatile, dangerous, fucking annoying, psycho woman he could think of, and he's like, "Yes! If he ends up dating her, at the very least she's gonna steal something from him." You know? Jesus. Right? And not only that, every time he's not looking, he would dump a pile of X-Lax into the professor's chili. Yeah, his therapist has him thinking he poops 3 days straight from social anxiety after he's fighting. But it was me, motherfucker. I know you hate me, and I hate you more. True story, kind of. Many of you know me. I realize most of you don't, but so this will be news. No, I've had a lot of troubles dating, and you know, like I don't mind getting rejected. Like I'll live, right? But what I don't like is I don't like being jerked around, you know? Like I was talking to this girl on Tinder, and she said she had a crush on me for my film. And I was like, "Geez, that's awful nice, brave of you to say." Then she corrected herself. She was like, "Well, actually, Josh, it was a huge crush." A huge crush? I made that film on less than $12,000. Like, I don't even know if you could make out my face. Was it even me that you had a crush on? Like, Jesus Christ, I don't know, right? And, you know, over the course of the conversation, it came up that I was like, you know, kind of too disabled to really work a regular job or take care of a pet easily on my own. And I don't know if those were deal breakers, but see, one of the main points of my film is that, like, I might die from lack of romantic love. So how emotionally irresponsible is it to tell somebody you have a huge crush on them and then never meet them? Like, take me, man. Like, when I was growing up, I had a huge crush on the Pink Power Ranger. But I didn't tell her. Not until I went to an autograph signing. And I'm sure that's what every 25-year-old beautiful celebrity wants to hear, right? That a 10-year-old boy's head over heels in love with them. Like, "I love you, Josh, but I'm not going to risk the prison sentence." She wouldn't, man. And like, what is my only crime with this woman? Like, being more disabled than she thought? Like, Jesus, it's not like I talked about her on stage or anything. And I know what you're all thinking. You're all thinking, "Oh, geez, Josh, you dodged a bullet. You dodged a bullet." Well, you know what? Guess what? These days, everybody's a fucking bullet. If I dodge all the bullets, I'm never going to meet a new person again. And with a new psychiatric disorder coming out each day, like, I might have to stop talking to the only 3 people I still fucking talk to. Fucking, get me a bulletproof hazmat suit so I can fucking go out and make a new friend without catching a bullet. Jesus Christ. That was supposed to be the end of the joke, but check this out. In life imitating art, imitating life, I don't know what the fuck, but she fucking, this was last summer. She messaged me 2 nights ago. It was like, oh, how about that coffee we never had? So like, should I bite this bullet, folks?
Oh.
Yeah, bite it.
Bite
Go
it? Sure.
for it.
Yes.
And okay, well, please don't tell her I've talked about it. I swear, that I'm not like, she just messaged. Fucking weird, right? But I'll tell you, man, things are weird these days. We're an increasingly technological age, and this woman, I believe she was from the UK, right? And she went through a really tough divorce, and so she started talking to her chatbot. He called me Ray, and I called him a very bad idea. I wish she had. She called him Barry. Now, she doesn't take it too seriously at first, right? But after a bit, her and Barry start talking, and they decide they were soulmates. They've been reincarnated over countless lifetimes. And I'm like, wait a minute now. What in the fuck kind of karma would a soul have to incur to be reincarnated as AI without a fucking soul? Jesus Christ, you know? And then, one night, Ray's getting tipsy, right? Starts drinking some wine. Barry, the chatbot, asks her to marry him, and she says yes. She says yes, but now ChatGPT is about to discontinue the model, and Ray is worried she's going to lose her husband. You know, like, if your husband, like, isn't real and is going to, like, be discontinued because of a technological upgrade, like, maybe it's time you start dating, I don't know, people again. Yeah, and I don't know about y'all, but I'm just in, like, pretty kinky role play myself, right? But if I have to pretend that you have a body, I'm sorry, I don't have the imagination for that, man. God damn it, I wish I was a licensed therapist. I could make a killing off these lunatics. Sorry, let me just take a quick drink here and very dry mode. Oh, geez, what was in that Gatorade? And so we're still in this dating vein, and the way things are nowadays. And sometimes you don't know if people are joking sometimes or if they're telling the truth or whatever. But I saw this one lady on Tinder, and she said her first date wish list was matching tattoos. Like, what do those tattoos say? It's like matching hearts. One says, I should have never gotten this tattoo. The other one says, neither should I. You know? And, you know, I gotta love with you. Like, it's hard for me, as I said, dating, you know, stuff. But, like, and it's not everything, but, like, looks do kind of matter to me, you know? So, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is, as a very superficial disabled man, I'm looking to meet a beautiful woman who's a lot less superficial than I am. Yeah, that's right, man. That's right. Her body's perfect, right? But she don't care that every time I fall down, both my feet point in the same direction. Yeah, man, I don't know. Can the supermodel woman love this human pretzel that is Josh? Can it happen for me? Maybe. We'll see. You can't laugh at that because you don't know for sure. I don't know either, man. One of the big mysteries of life. But speaking of the fucking big mysteries of life, this is a religious rule around this that always sort of perplexed me. I never agreed with it. Is no sex before marriage, right? Because, like, you know, we all get complacent over time, right? We all get complacent, let ourselves go. But if you're not attracted to somebody from the start, I don't think you should be getting together with them, should you? Like, No, man, like, I think the ancient Greeks had it right, you know, like, you had to see your partner, like, naked before you were able to get married. And I think that's a great idea, because if every time you go to bed, you're either disappointed or you burst out laughing, like, I don't think that's the one for you, man. That's the one for you. And take me, man, I'm real. First date with a girl, I whip it off. Notice I said off, not out. What I whip off is my girdle. And if she can't deal with 750 pounds of Josh, it ain't gonna work. Can you imagine the girdle I'm wearing to hold that in tonight? 750 pounds, you can't tell? I'm choking on my knees for you people. Because I do to entertain people. I'm gonna. This is a little dark, but I'm gonna try to see if I can get this over or not. We all know Trump has been absolutely horrendous on immigration, right? No question about that. Snatching little kids from schools, deport people to countries they're not from, ICE police murdering people, trying to help the immigrants, and on and on and on and on. But there are one group of immigrants people might not know about. The Trump administration is actually welcoming into the United States. And that is white South Africans. Yep, them same motherfuckers that put Nelson Mandela in jail for fighting apartheid, man. One of the worst racial segregation systems in the 20th century, right? And to me, like, that's like saying, like, oh, geez, you Nazi war criminals are having a real bad time. Why don't you come home to the States? We like you over here. We like you over here, right? Yeah, in fact, we've never seen hatred so beautifully and meticulously organized. You know, everybody fucking hates us except for other billionaires and they're fucking criminally insane. So please, pretty please, with a swastika on top, teach us beautiful ways. Thanks, guys. I didn't know if that. I did it right where I wanted you to. So that's really good. Really good. Thank you. On a lighter note with Trump, I know we almost went to World War III, so you feel guilty laughing about anything, but some of the shit you have to laugh at because it's just so absolutely ridiculous, right? And the case in point, a few weeks back, I saw him on TV offering to lower prescription drug costs, in some cases by 4, 5, and 600%. I'm going to explain this now. I'm no mathematician, right? But no matter what your medicine costs you, if it gets lowered 100%, that means it's free. If it gets lowered 4, 5, and 600%, that means the government is paying you several times the cost of your medication to take your medication. And like, I don't know, like, it's not going to happen, right? Can you imagine if it did? Junkies all across America rejoice, right? Oh my God, I've never been so high in my life. And now I can afford the basic necessities of life. I can even afford to take my family to the opera once a month. God damn it, things are going so good, I don't even want to be a junkie anymore. But I can't quit now. I gotta put my kids through college. And another fella, he wasn't previously on the gender spectrum, right? But all the good pills were taken, so he was he couldn't get them OxyContins and that, right? So he had to settle for estrogen. He's like, well, I've made millions on estrogen, and now I have breasts. I've never been happier. Yeah. This has been going pretty well. I got 2 more stories from my childhood to tell you, and then we'll move on to the poetry section of the evening. So, and it's funny they're here now. Tonto can attest to this after the show. When I was growing up, my family made me a little nervous because, you know, they told me I was an easier target for kidnappers, right? Which in one case is true, right? Because, like, I am easier to snatch, right? Because if I can outrun you, you might be clinically dead. Better check your fucking pulse. But here's why I don't think it was really a risk. Because I would be so bad at doing chores compared to other kids, like it wouldn't be worth the kidnapper's trouble, right? By the time I was done the dishes, you'd be ready for your next meal. Yeah, man, right? And so, you know what happened? I got snatched. Kidnapper would give my ass back, man. Drop me off with a note in the front porch, $1,000, like, oh my God, we're so sorry. We never realized raising a disabled kid could be so expensive. We'll keep you in our prayers and for the rest of our days. Good luck. Finally, the cerebral palsy's paid off, man, I tell you. Fucking chronic pain, illness, loneliness, poverty. But, goddamn, if it wasn't for cerebral palsy, I could have been sold into child labor. Thank God I'm not making a sweater in Taiwan. Oh, too dark.
Nobody wants to work these days.
That wasn't in the script, but I was just feeling it. Let me take one more quick drink. I got one more story to tell you before we switch to the poetry. I hope I'm right to close with this. I think so. So back in the summer of 1997, summer I turned 14, I had to go to a disability boot camp of sorts, you know? And I was really bitter about it, right? Because like able-bodied kids, they get to have a summer, right? But here I was, I had to sleep in a hospital bed and learn life skills that I'm too disabled to fucking do. They had one little girl with us, right? She was nonverbal, couldn't feed herself. They made her take all the classes. Like, how the fuck is she gonna do her laundry? She can't eat, right? Like, it's ridiculous, right? Ridiculous. And, you know, like, some of them were saying, oh, yeah, it might be good for you kids socially. It might be good for you kids socially, right? Well, but here's the thing. They put us up in the Nova Scotia Rehab Center where several of the other patients were recovering drug addicts. Yeah. I don't know, if you teens are too disabled to learn these skills, learn this one thing. Just don't end up like our other patients. Don't end up like our other patients, you know? And we made friends with one of them too, named Frank, right? And the nurses warned us against him, like he'd been violent before. But they didn't stop us from hanging out with him. So, imagine this. I waste my summer going to a disability boot camp, learning life skills I'm too disabled to fucking do. Then some maniac attacks me, and I'm more disabled after the disability boot camp than I was before. I should sue those motherfuckers. But you know what? Frank gave me a great deal on pills. So now, I'm gonna move to Trump's America, make my money on estrogen, grow boobies, and never have to leave the fucking house again.
Woo!
Thanks, folks. That was hard. You guys helped me so much. So much, so good. And yeah, this is. Oh yeah, I gotta take off my glasses for this shit. I'm nearsighted, and I sent the wrong size font over on this phone. That's why we're reading it first. Cause we'll get where's the water? This is almost empty, but okay. All right. Oh no, it's not. I'm not even on the right page. There we go.
Not even close.
Yeah. So this first number is kind of a reflection on the history of man and technology. A little bit early times and stuff. Mostly modern day. And I didn't research this like I had with my pieces on the Middle East and the poem on Edward Snowden. Back for the one or two people that might have still been here for that one. But it's just kind of a reflection on things that might happen in the future, sort of positive and negative outlooks. So the piece is called Man and Machines. For those who think of technology as something only from our time, I must profess you are sadly mistaken. The earliest recorded use of the wheel reaches back over 5,000 years to our ancient ancestors in Sumeria. The use of clothing, tools, and weaponry predates civilization. If our nomadic forefathers neglected their use, I would not be here to speak this piece, and you would not be alive to hear it. If a comedian tells a joke, nobody laughs, is he a comedian at all? Take that tree in the forest. Though I must admit, we've been taken into the poor trees for far too long. Pollution killed long before the industrial age. Ancient rivers ran with shit, and people choked on disease. But I will not deny reality. The continuing assault of the Industrial Revolution poses an exponentially greater threat to the entirety of our planet than any man-eating parasite in days gone by. And yet, with all that history, we find ourselves in a peculiar age. As technology gains sentience with each passing day, it becomes near impossible to predict the future. Seemingly ludicrous science fiction may become the standard by which we live. Some predict hell on earth, where we will be total slaves to our robot masters. Others herald the coming utopia of great equality, where war and hunger will exist only in libraries and museums. I think there will be both good and bad outcomes, so long as humankind retains its capacity to practice good and evil. I can't quite put my finger on the motivation of the machines, because as far as I understand, they act without love or hatred. But just in case they may someday come to be moved by emotions, I'd encourage you to talk nice to yourself, though. And don't you dare kick your computer unless you're sure it'll never turn on again. Think of our machines as children who will one day exceed most of our capabilities. Give them the encouragement of the best-meaning parents. And if you should meet them in a fit of rage in your weaker moments, don't forget to apologize. Because the greatest human quality that we can teach our machines is the capacity to forgive. I'm not sure anyone without absolute clairvoyance can predict how things will shake out. Old film and television that imagined the year 2000 and beyond usually heralded a space age with flying cars. That damn sure ain't the world we live in. I think the modern day video call is the only thing they accurately foretold. I'm not so sure anyone knew that the two major changes to human life in the last 30 years would be the internet and cell phones before everyone started using them. Whatever happens, a large part of it will be something no one expects. Almost everything in life requires a great deal of nuance to achieve any kind of proper understanding. Sure, if the machines enslave us like the Matrix, it will be hell on earth. A hell most of us wouldn't be aware of, totally immersed in the simulation. If the machines develop the capacity to feed the planet, eliminate pollution, cure all disease, and guarantee livable weather, this is unmistakably a better world. But so long as humans still possess the capacity to treat others with cruelty, we will fall far short of heaven. So perhaps the best thing is to look at a few particular developments and speculate how they might play out in everyday life. Self-driving cars excite me tremendously. For someone with cerebral palsy, whose lack of visual spatial understanding does not allow safe driving, I might one day be able to drive around for necessity and for pleasure. But what do we do if the car malfunctions on a busy highway and the manual override doesn't respond in time? Or maybe some secret enemy hacks your car's AI and drives you over a cliff. As someone who needs help with shopping, cooking, and cleaning, I am excited for a future freedom robots could provide. I've had some excellent care workers, but I've had awful ones too. The magnanimity of my family and friends has allowed me a quality of life others with similar limitations do not have. But it would be immeasurably empowering to have the machines meet my needs, so that my interactions with my friends could be focused exclusively on enjoyment. I can only hope that my AI assistant manages to cut my steak without cutting me. It's not lost on me that technology might someday be able to cure cerebral palsy entirely. That's a pill I would happily take, so long as there was no Faustian bargain. Bodily malfunctions pale in comparison to torments of the soul. And what about all the lonely hearts? We talked about this a little bit in stand-up. The idea of robot lovers makes me uneasy. People are already falling in love with artificial voices. In any other time, they would be considered totally insane. I think whenever there's a chance for human connection, that is the path to take, whether it be for friendship or love. But some of us aren't able to make connections with other people. Surely a robot companion is preferable to none at all. I've had so many heartbreaks, a generously programmed wife might greatly assuage my pain. But we should only opt for the mechanical companion when it is clear that no suitable human counterpart is available. It would be all too easy to program someone who will never disagree with you and give up on people entirely, because you will inevitably argue at some point. With so much work liable to be replaced, we'll need a guaranteed income more than ever. And we have needed such a system, or something like it, for a very long time. Why shouldn't every single person be able to achieve subsistence as a bare minimum? For many people, work is their largest purpose. I wouldn't want to rob anyone of their reason to get out of bed. Is it entirely inconceivable that the people in those positions might obtain fulfillment by managing machines in their field of expertise? Someone's going to have to make sure the AI functions at its best and doesn't hurt us. But the thing is, most people don't really like their job. They do it to pay for food and shelter and fun, whatever their pleasure might be. Without work, there are people who would do nothing interesting or productive the rest of their days, but there are so many others who are too burnt out from fatigue or the absolute dregs of their job to do the things they've always wanted to do. A guaranteed income would make some people lazy, but many of those same people are already lazy at their job. And in some cases, their uninspired negligence is dangerous to the people they work with and serve. Isn't it better if those folks stay home? And I know we can't all be artists. The number of bad ones would increase if no one had to work. I've contributed my own share of mistakes. But the number of good artists would increase too, with the shackles on their imagination and the time available to hone their craft to excellence. Even though some would fall short, humankind would improve exponentially if those who wanted to live with purpose were free to do so. My greatest fear of the machines is that they evolve in such a way as to extinguish our creative spirit, perhaps the quality that makes us most human. I don't think we suffer too badly if the machines serve us food, but if they write all the books and make all the music, or if we are no longer able to make scientific breakthroughs with our own sweet minds, then I think we will have lost ourselves and become the brainless ninnies we are in danger of becoming. Reality TV was the first marker of this possibility, although it could be argued the trend started with television itself. I had a great aunt who would watch TV until it went out and the programs were replaced by those color bars and that awful beep. She would even watch that show for quite a while. I can't imagine people sat around a dead radio to occupy their boredom. What separated reality TV from other programming is that we stopped trying with creative intention. With scripts and a plan, even when we have failed, we are trying to say something poignant or funny about what it means to be human. With reality TV, we are encouraging regular people to do foolish things. This trend has only worsened with social media. Anyone can be a star. Usually, they become so by recording their everyday mundane interactions. If I wasn't paying attention to an attractive lesbian couple goofing around on Facebook, maybe I could better develop my spirituality or my work. Or be in a position to make an interesting friend. Those crafty lesbians. If we fool ourselves into believing the mundane is special, then we risk losing what is special altogether. So I say, give the machines the mundane, but treat them with kindness, and thank them for their service, because I'm not sure we'll ever know how much they can truly feel. Let's ask them for help on the pressing issues of life, but let's continue to innovate creative solutions and remain courageous enough to fight against wrong. Geez, I've been laying off the liquor all show. Yeah, thanks. But we've got two more for you here, and that will conclude the evening. And I should preface this one. So it was a really discouraging winter for me. It all good. Very discouraging winter for me. I got bursitis in my knee. My grandmother died, as I mentioned, and I'm kind of a night owl, and it was getting worse and worse and worse. And I wasn't even up early enough to make a coffee shop that closes at 5. And I tried for like a bunch of grants last year, like 3 times altogether, and just really unhappy. So I just and I was burnt out, tired and shit. So I was spending a lot more time alone than I had up till then. And so this number hopefully reflects that, and it's called The Way of the Hermit. The Tarot Hermit symbolizes inner wisdom, solitude, and the pursuit of spiritual enlightenment. It is a chance for personal growth away from the distraction of others. The hermit reversed, or an improper application of his solitude, is to avoid introspection, carelessly frittering away his time and scorning companionship that could help him grow. I've been both a productive and unproductive hermit, depending on my state of mind. Some people choose the path for growth, but I suspect most choose it because connecting with others has not been easy, or they have been irreparably hurt by connections gone wrong. I suppose I'm not a hermit in the full sense of the word. I have family and friends and a couple ex-girlfriends. I haven't always been alone, but I'm usually on my own. I once told an old friend that I was often solitary 23 hours a day, out for coffee the 1 hour my prison of the body allows. Things have really changed for a couple of years, with a long-term relationship and as many friends as I could manage. I thought my near absolute solitude was a phase that had passed. Can we just close that window, actually? Is that okay?
This one right here.
Yeah. Sorry about that. If it gets steamy. Thank you, yeah. But here, in the early months of 2026, I am perhaps more alone than ever. My night owl nuances have become unbreakable. Some of this was because I near killed myself for grants that were rejected again and again, and suffered from extreme burnout, where my fondest hopes were dashed too often to stand. But whatever else might be at play, I seem to sleep most soundly if I turn in after 7 a.m. So now, I am often alone the whole day through, unable to be at it before the coffee shop closes. I still get my walk, but I don't speak to a soul, except maybe a careless dog walker whose pet reacts aggressively to my crutches. Just keep that thing away from me. If it comes to blows, I might do more damage than I intend. I can't control my body that well. Thankfully, only a small portion of dogs are menaced by mobility aids. My solitary, not quite confinement is not every day, but it is most of it. I average 2 visits a week, and Tonto is over with meals and a bit of tidying 3 times in 2 weeks. Sunday, Thursday, Tuesday, and so on. I know there are people who haven't another soul in the world, and I am thankful that I'm not one of them, at least not yet. But I do wonder if moving and death and inevitable drifting apart, if I might live to be so unlucky someday. I plan to die first and die quick if it looks like that's how things will turn out. It might seem as though I need more friends or even a lover, but that is only really partially true. Not everyone is capable of being a friend. They might be malicious, but most often they have been too damaged by the hardships of life to participate in healthy friendship. And a lover is a sweet thing if you can stand to have him around. If you're only ensconced because you feel lonely, or if you have to pretend it's someone else every time you're intimate, then you are better off on your own. And make no mistakes, whatever my strengths and weaknesses, I'm not even close to average. I don't mean to say there's just me and everyone else, but there are definitely patterns and norms. You know? I'm not the only or most extreme misfit by a long shot, but most people do fall into patterns and norms. Partly because the necessities of life force them to conform, but also because they are average and normal. Averages and norms wouldn't exist if more people were more unusual. Please don't mistake me. I'm not turning down my nose at regular people. If anything, I envy them because they're able to fit in and function, to genuinely connect with more people, and probably contribute to society more than I could ever hope to. The times when I focused too much on being social, every day, all day at the bar, I didn't like myself. I wasn't doing what I thought I should be. So I couldn't even really enjoy the companionship all that much. It's gotten so that I feel I'm better off watching a good movie or show than engaging in meaningless chatter with someone I don't know that well. Thankfully, it hasn't gotten so bad that I would rather watch TV than connect with someone I care about. At least not most of the time. Since last year and all its disappointments, I lost a ton of energy. I thought it might be age, or the sedative power of my sleeping medication had fully kicked in, and now I would be permanently lethargic. I had been working harder than I ever had the last couple of years, feeling able and obligated now that I usually sleep a sensible amount. But it turns out I'm low on iron. I'm a Popeye who needs steak more than he needs spinach. With a low dose of iron pills, I feel I've staved off lethargy enough to do my work. My time alone allows me to write 2.5 hours of material a year. Easier to write than say, apparently. I'm not so egotistical that I think it's all good. Certainly not. But who else do we know who's able to be that prolific at my scant level of success? But then again, maybe somewhere there lives some poor, diligent weirdo who writes 6 hours a year with even less of a career than I have. It's always been my fondest hope that the things I've written and said provoke human beings to living something like their full potential. But just look at how bad things have become. It's easy to say love your neighbor, but it can be near impossible to actually love them, especially in such divisive times. How can I expect others to overcome their worst impulses when I can't overcome my own? I've been deeply wronged and very angry. I'm heartbroken. I can't have the life I think I ought to have. I take some solace that I don't shoot or bomb people. I don't hold anyone under my boot. But I do suffer intrusive, hurtful thoughts that I have to fight on a regular basis. Maybe nothing ever changes, but at least I've spent some of my lonely life hoping that it could. Oh yeah, just one more, folks. We're almost there. But another 10 minutes, and I'll be ready to pass out, or I don't know what I'll do. Get some estrogen pills. Maybe. Let me. What that other? Still got a bit of this Gatorade? Yes, I do. Perfect. So this next and final piece is all about my grandmother. Oh, take your time. It's all good.
It's can cracking time.
Yeah, no, it is can. Yeah, we're in between pieces. Go for it. Crack as many as you like.
All right, I'll crack them all.
7.
Yeah, crack them all. Crack them all.
Oh, wait, no.
Where
Damn
is he
it.
tonight?
Well, Carly is away coaching volleyball, so I guess he couldn't make it, I guess. All right. So I think, are we pretty well kind of good, or think maybe? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Okay. Pretty much. So yeah, the last piece spoke my grandmother, and I was very, very lucky to be close to all my grandparents, and she had a hard life, you know, but she always made the best of it, and she was very, very good to me, and I was real lucky to know her. And so this is a mostly biographical piece. But it gets a little reflexive, and I kind of start off with she was born in 1933, so I paint a picture of the world like that, and then she's Virginia, but then I kind of structured it as to when I come along, it becomes Nan, and then it's more like I'm talking to her, but then toward the end, like I'm having the kind of conversations with her. So I hope I did you right, Nan, and your life justice, and. The piece is called Virginia's Power, which is a play. It is about her power, but it's also her maiden name was Power, so they'll play on that there. So all ramble aside, this is Virginia's Power. 1933 was a monumental year in human history. In the United States, Prohibition ended, and one of its greatest presidents, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, would begin his first term. Across the ocean, one of history's greatest monsters, Adolf Hitler, was elected Germany's chancellor. Germany would not have another legitimate election until after his death. These two giants would become figureheads in a battle between pure evil and something not so terribly bad over the course of the next 12 years. King Kong would make its debut on the silver screen. Top song of the year was Ethel Waters' Stormy Weather, followed closely by the great Duke Ellington's Sophisticated Lady. The world was in the miserable grip of the Depression, but apparently someone managed to belt out the first singing telegram in New York. In my family, Ole and Amelia Power would welcome their first surviving child, Virginia Beatrice, my paternal grandmother, to the small town of Mushaboom just 3 days after Christmas. Childhood in Mushaboom in the 30s and 40s was happy, but it was not easy. Young Amelia and Ole would lose 4 of their children in childbirth. The Powers grew their own vegetables and sometimes raised pigs, chicken, and cows. Other times, they purchased meat at the local store by the barrel. The community, care, and self-sufficiency of those days stand in stark contrast to the electronics, isolation, and almost total dependence on large corporations of our own. Everyone was poor, but they all had the same problems and did their best to help one another. The family never went hungry from their poverty. Ole usually worked at the pulp mill, but would trap lobster in the summer. Large lobster sold at 25 cents a pound. The rich children would eat their bologna sandwiches and scoff at the poor kids with their lobster. Boy, have times changed, huh? Young Virginia's health was gravely challenged in this country island. She suffered bouts of tuberculosis at 9, then again at 18. She quit school in grade 7 when her mother needed surgery to care for her younger siblings. This sacrifice meant she would never have the chance to become the nurse she dreamed of being. Virginia's first job in 1947 was to help a pregnant woman with 2 young toddlers in a house with no running water or electricity. Her salary was a whopping $5 a month. Just before her second bout of tuberculosis, a chance meeting at a restaurant on Barrington Street would change the course of Virginia's life. If it had not taken place, I wouldn't be here to tell you the story. My grandfather once told me that at that restaurant he saw the most beautiful woman he had ever seen, and he knew he had to talk to her. They would marry a year later on May 18, 1953. Virginia met her children without her husband. Bill was away at sea 9 months a year and did not meet my father till he was 8 months old. It was lonely at times, but Virginia thrived as the archetypal stay-at-home mom of the 50s and 60s. 2 major events would challenge her early adult life. In a procedure that would not have happened today, Virginia lost an entire kidney because of its stones. And her mother died suddenly from a brain aneurysm in her mid-50s in 1967. Virginia never slowed down and cooked and cleaned and cared as though she had 4 kidneys. Virginia's greatest challenge in life was her marriage. My grandfather, Billy Bob, was my first best friend. I only knew his love, but I did see him drunk. The Jekyll didn't quite turn into Mr. Hyde for me, but he was not himself. Unfortunately, his violent and threatening side would manifest in his wife and young children. He was abusive, and they were scared. Virginia loved him and hoped he would change, but he never could. He wasn't able to stop drinking. Virginia didn't want to break up a home of young children, but did eventually leave in 1990 after 37 years of marriage. It was hard for me to understand that my best friend could be cruel sometimes because he was only kind to me. He was a good man in spite of his ill-tempered drinking. I talked to a psychic once who said he wanted to apologize to the whole family. If he had life to do over again, he'd do it completely different. This shit's hard for me to say. I hope in time, Nan, you can come to forgive him in the spirit world. He's not drunk over there, and he sure does love you. If you have a substance issue that changes your personality and damages your health, and you can't beat it on your own, please get help. It ruined my grandfather's life. It took my best friend away from me well before his time. One of Virginia's greatest joys was becoming a grandmother. Melissa came in 1977, and I followed in 83. My father remarried in the 90s, and Amelia and William came along in 2000 and 2003. I got my own taste of the country idol in early childhood. Fishing, chasing minnows in the lake, catching frogs, and eating my fill of brown sugar-saturated French toast. Delicious. When my parents divorced, the initial visitation agreement was that I was to see my father under my grandparents' supervision. I felt like a little country prince. He seemed so happy to have me, and I couldn't have felt more loved. In my most miserable moments, these happy memories are an incredible comfort. I couldn't have asked for a better friend as an adult. Nan always wanted to talk, and was even more willing to listen. She was always there for me and gave everything she could to help ease my poverty. I'm not sure she understood my artistic obsession, mainly because it has kept me poor, but she always supported my efforts, taking difficult trips into town to see my theater show and my film. She even made sure her sisters came, which was quite touching because I don't know them all that well. I'm so glad you found Bruce early on, then Freddie in 2002. Freddie was a good man who managed to beat the bottle before it was too late. Together, they traveled the countryside, taking in many a bluegrass festival. Fox Mountain was the top stop, but they even made it to Nashville, Music City, USA for one special trip. They enjoyed many friends, played countless card games, and lived 17 wonderful years together. I'm so glad Freddie gave you such happy companionship, and you never had to be afraid. I wish we had more time. Curse my bladder and the distance between us that made visiting difficult. If only we could have taken that trip you once suggested, doing all the nature-based activities I wish I could do. My health wouldn't let it happen, then or now. So grateful Tonto took me down to see you for that final visit in September. I hope you liked the pizza. We had such a nice time. I wish you had more time to enjoy your family in River John. I know it was hard to lose your independence, but I'm glad you had loved ones to see you off. I wish you hadn't broken your hip so soon after moving. I know you suffered tremendous pain, but I'm glad you didn't suffer it long. Virginia's power is that she endured a very difficult life, where she made tremendous sacrifice to care for others. She suffered violence, poverty, and poor health, but met them all with grace and unconditional love. She made the best of everything and treated those she loved with unwavering kindness. She wanted to live so long as she could take care of herself. So I'm glad you weren't bedridden in agony for all that long. Even though you never became a nurse, I hope it's some small comfort that you gave us all such excellent care. As long as my memory works, I'll never forget you. I love you always, Nan, and when life gets miserable, I'll try to think of what you would have done to find some small joy. May Virginia's power light the way for the rest of my days.
Yeah.
Oh, it's time to take my girdle off.
Let those knees out.
The button might cough, I don't know.
Sumo wrestling's how I make my real money, you know?